Good evening. This is Hannah Klein. Welcome to my podcast, Hannah Klein's Time. It's a little early today. I was reading a book by I just got a book this morning, and I was reading a book not all day, but in between, and I'm almost done. But I was reading a book about diplomacy, written by Ambassador Yamagami, the former ambassador of Japan to Australia. I'm a little appalled at some of the facts that he was saying, that maybe he might have a different view, of course. He's a different individual. I mean, he has his own view. He has his experience as a diplomat. But I have to say that I often see his posts on X, for example, and I have never thought that he was anti-American. And actually, I do not believe that he is anti-Trump either. I mean, it's actually a matter of the national interest of Japan to ultimately. And when we meaning just in general, maybe are to discuss the interest, like the diplomatic relationship of Japan and the United States. I mean, it has to be based on the fact that Japan is a very close ally of the United States. I mean, I have to say that the United States is a wonderful ally to Japan. I mean, it's a democratic country. It's a nation of freedom, but I'm not sure how many people are aware, by the way, of the food crisis that Japan has had. I would just switch the story and talk about this, but just yesterday, approximately 4,000 items in the food items, they have new prices now again. I mean, how many times has the price changed? I mean, in the last maybe 2 years or something. And this is not just about Japan, but around the world. And it's a serious issue. But considering Japan, I went to a supermarket. I don't purchase 10 kilogram rice, but I went to the corner and checked the price, and 10 kilogram, 2,000 yen. I mean, in average, it used to be 5,000 yen, but now it's in average 7,000 yen. I mean, the price has increased by 2,000 yen per kilograms. I mean, consider if you had maybe 5 members in your family. You're maybe including yourself, your wife, 3 kids, whatever. This is a serious problem that matter to I mean, that matters to families of children, and also families with children. And I have to say that this is a real like food crisis happening in Japan. Japan, food self-sufficiency has been dropping. I know it, but I just am appalled how much we have to depend on import foods. And this is another problem too. And I just, like in case of emergency or any other circumstances, I believe that it is inevitable to increase the food sufficiency, like self-sufficiency of Japan. Like, why do we have to depend rice on China while we export rice to China? I mean, it's crazy. And I know the quality of the Chinese rice. And yeah, like I just thought back, and there was a crisis like this before, but not because of the inflation. But I have to say that I compared the taste of rice, Japanese rice and Chinese rice, for example. And Chinese rice, then usually people steam in China. So the way people cook is a little different from the way Japanese people cook. So it's a little different. I mean, the texture is different, and but I just cannot believe what is going on with this administration, Ishiba administration. And I expected, long time ago, maybe I lived in a dreamland or something. Now I'm just facing the reality of what Prime Minister Ishiba is about. Like, I'm just shocked at what he's doing. I was reading the book, and I just started to remember all the nightmares that I had ever since he became the prime minister. But what I have to say is that it's not just a diplomatic code that he has to think of, but he is, what is he doing in terms of diplomacy? I'm just so appalled at the fact that our LDP politicians, this like nonsense in diplomacy, like they do not even give one phone call to President Trump to speak about, for example, Nippon Steel. I mean, what is the point of getting scolded by President of the United States? We have to discuss issues. I mean, that's how the diplomatic relationship should be. I mean, it is strange. I mean, but the way we say something really matters. That is true. The way we say something, and that is something Prime Minister Abe was very, very concerned the whole time, 24/7, all the time. I mean, even it doesn't matter when he was in a foreign country or inside Japan. He was always perfect in that. At that point, I have to say that way. Well, I have to say, I have to talk about this long time ago in a dreamland when I was dreaming about Prime Minister Ishiba being democratic. I believe that he was more of a moderate type of person, and very. I have to say that. I have to say that he was the type of person not so persistent to stay in the position of political power. But now I'm just looking at the power politics that he's practicing in the prime minister's office. He never resigns, and I don't know. Does he need to cancel the speech on World War II, for example? I mean, why? What is the whole point? Okay, why do we have to? I mean, Japan has to build mutual relationship with China, while China is aggressive in winning economy, and not just that, but in a militaristic means. China is very aggressive, and just on April 1st, right? They started. They blocked the Taiwan Islands and started the military drills. Oh, it's going to last for about like 3 days or something, right? Or a week to a week. Well, it has been like this for years now, and it is just concerning. And I think now is the important time to speak with the United States. And why is Japan inviting that 1E? I mean, that liar. I mean, he's the top of the liar in the Minister of Foreign Affairs of China. And why do we have to bow down to China in the first place when we invested a huge sum of money, just poured money into China, and look what's happening now. Look what they're doing now to Japan. They don't appreciate at all. I mean, they are not appreciating. They don't try to build mutual relationship. So what China has been doing since early 2000s is basically get everything that they can get, and we'll just we don't care. As I and see, here's a fact. China has had horrific steel industries. This is true. This is what was happening in the past during if you take a look at the Chinese economic history, it's very simple. But now, the 1st to the 10th of the world's steel industry is dominated by China. I mean, this is truly appalling. And the point is that it is not about President Trump's statement, but we do have to consider the fact all the time. Just we cannot forget about it, okay? We cannot forget about the fact that the United States is a good ally to Japan. And I just do not understand. It is not a power balance. Okay, Japan cannot be driven by the power balance, but Japan has to act in the best interest of Japan, of course, because it's a nation. I mean, there's no point in just discussing and arguing this. But I have to say, Japan has to choose who is a friend and who is not. And I just am just truly shocked, and I'm truly disappointed at Kishida and both Ishiba. And Ambassador Yamagami points out, they are very, very persistent to the position of being the prime minister. Okay, I have to say this. Tanzan Ishibashi, right? He is the idealistic person to Prime Minister Ishiba. He at the same time was the shortest serving prime minister. I mean, what is he doing? And at the same time, I know a lot about Tanzan Ishibashi, and I do agree to what he says, but at some point I don't. The part that, for example, Japan has done, well, like, it seems like, when I hear Prime Minister Ishiba's statements, it seems like he is denying Japan's history, the past history of Japan. I mean, the good part, the bad part, every aspect of history never drops off. And what we have to do is to learn from the past. But what he's doing is that, okay, I'm canceling what I'm going to talk, and I'll just do the panel discussion with the researchers. So, where is his opinion, by the way? Do we have to? Okay, research and being a politician are very different. And the way there is a methodology in the first place to do the research. And I don't understand why Prime Minister Ishiba has to be a researcher. He doesn't have to be a researcher. And he doesn't have to be so persistent to the power. But he is, as a matter of fact. Some people, have argued some legal issues. Not legal issues exactly, but, I have to say legal issues that came up during Prime Minister Abe's administrations. I have to say there were faults, of course. I mean, he's not perfect, but I just did not know. Well, I basically believe that LDP is a party that is very experienced in diplomacy, and I believe that they have a lot of information and connections with the United States. But looking at Prime Minister Ishiba and Kishida, I just started to doubt very strongly. And the reason why I criticize Prime Minister Kishida is that, especially when he gave a speech in Congress. I mean, this is not a speech contest. I mean, he doesn't have to show how good his speech is. But what is important is he needs to tell what is needed to be told in front of the congressmen or senators or in front of the President of the United States. And he didn't do that. Since 2022, Japan is facing national security crisis. And this is the interest of Japan, that Japan has to consider as a priority. And I don't see politicians doing that. And I'm just so disappointed at what was happening. And what is happening now is just, what is going on with this China, like CCP? I mean, that is like a gang regime. And mocked by communism. Why do we have to believe in communism? I mean, Japan has never embraced communism in the first place after Meiji Restoration. it is just so just so shocking, and I do not understand the whole point of Prime Minister Ishiba not talking about Nippon Steel with the the United States government, or the United States. Well, Prime Minister Ishiba is supposed to give a phone call, and he's never done that. I mean, this is not a matter of corporation. If Nippon Steel collapses, this is a matter of national crisis. I mean, that is a company, not just multinational company, but it has a lot of Japanese employees at risk. And what is he doing? I mean, what is Prime Minister Ishiba doing for the Japanese people who are getting wages and paychecks from Nippon Steel? I mean, he needs to support good corporations grow, and at the same time, good corporations trying to build good relationship with the United States. I mean, if there is no point in just doing all these facts going on right now, and just he's doing nothing. I mean, silent, zero statement, and I don't know what he's doing now. By the way, I'm very actually excited at the fact that Nippon Steel is building a very large plants. Well, not a large well, like I have to say a large, large plants in India, really. And I would say that Japan has more future in Indo-Pacific. I mean, including India. Not just in the Pacific region, but in the East Asia towards India. And India and China are very different. And for that matter, still, it is necessary to have a very good relationship with the United States in any ways. In many cases, the talks are missing, and well, the main politicians sitting in the cabinet right now are very pro-China people, and it is mobbed. I mean, it is mocked by these people, and this does not represent Japan in the first place. And I just don't know what to say. Well, today I was reading a court document written by a lawyer, by the way. I cannot talk about it because I need to discuss this matter further. But I still the reason the court documents are actually about Gaza and the cases there. But I really have a lot of doubts in Gaza Health Ministry, which is Hamas. Hamas dropped enormous number of death tolls. And Japan has been reporting, saying, for example, NHK refers to Gaza Health Ministry says, well, like if there's like an airstrike and Gaza Health Ministry says, a lot of people died. And they say as such. I mean, I just talked with a person, a rabbi, in the Midwest, just yesterday, and I was talking about a state-owned media referring from Al Jazeera. I mean, it's unbelievable. But what is happening in Japan regarding the media coverage is that it is very, very biased against Israel, sadly. And I just am terrified. Looking back 1970s, I am going to discuss this tomorrow with a retired lawyer and a banker, Leonard Grandstein. And also I will be discussing Mr. Muhammad Khalil's case. I mean, I'm not humiliating him, but there is a case, or there are cases, not just one case that, I just would say. The United States government deport people. This is not just about a refugee or whatever, but there are cases that the United States government expels people with harsh punishments. And I will be discussing his case with Mr. Grandstein. And also, so I will be posting on Rabbi Michael Frond on Friday, on Shabbat Friday. I will be recording prior to that, but I will be posting a conversation with Rabbi Michael Frond on Friday, and he is the owner and the founder of Shavei Israel, and it means return to the land, but I believe that there is no way people can take away the rights of Israeli people. I mean, Israeli people is not just Jewish. There are Christians, Muslims, and Jewish people who live in the land. It's a very secular country, as I have discussed with Major Granger. But anyway, I may discuss what documents I read, but I cannot tell what it is now. But anyway, I will be busy. But anyway, I have to probably end this podcast for now. And I hope that you have a good evening. And it's in the afternoon in Israel. It's morning, daylight saving time, no daylight saving time in Japan. And it's very, very confusing. But I just hate daylight saving time, and I just don't know what to say. But anyway, I hope you have a good day. And before saying good night, I have to say, please download my podcast and also introduce my podcast to your friends. Also, please visit my homepage, and I really hope that you reserve hotels or book flights from Expedia on my website. Okay, so thank you very much, and good night.